Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's another show. It's another week. Marc and Bryon here to talk about all things going on in the world of nerd. We saw Flash last week. We'll be talking about that. That'll be the big topic for today. A lot of other shows starting soon. Secret Invasion starts tomorrow. Talking about that. We're talking about how no one wants to go see Indiana Jones with me next week. So I'll be finding a way to see that by myself and so much more.
Well, hold on. I'm gonna get my Indiana Jones. I've kind of ebbed and flowed. First trailer did nothing for me. Second trailer is like, okay, looks good.
Yeah.
They showed it at Cannes. And I mean the reason they showed it at Cons, whatever, how you want to pronounce it, is they had a retrospect for Harrison Ford in celebration of his career, which I think is fabulous.
Yeah.
A lot of the reviews that came out of Cannes were not favorable. Recently, a lot of YouTubers that I watch a lot that review movies that I've been watching these people for years. I watch the reviews. Usually they line up with mine. A lot of them are all saying the new Indiana Jones is a fun movie and that it's better than Crystal Skull.
Which isn't saying much.
To me, it's saying a lot.
Well, I mean, Crystal Skull,
better than Crystal
Skull. It's not a very high hurdle to hop over, is what I'm saying.
Listen. I think going into this one, low expectation is the best way to go, because it's not going to be like the original three. Nothing will ever touch the original. No. But here's where I am excited to see the movie, because a lot of the reviewers have saying it's better than Crystal Skull, and this is a better movie to go out on than Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
So if this is going to be Harrison Ford's last Indiana Jones movie, this is a better way to go out. Than that movie.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah.
So I listen, I'm for that. The reviews have been middle of the road. It's a fun, good movie.
Yeah.
I want to see it for myself. When they announced,
it's not when it comes out. You want to wait and see it with.
I promised my wife I will see it with her. So that's what happened. We want to watch the original movies and then go see the new one. So
you're allowed. It's okay. It's fine.
So
I've only seen movies with you guys before seeing them with my wife before, but that's fine. Totally fine. It's okay.
Well, doesn't Claire want to see it?
She does now, because I told her that no one else wants to go with me, so she feels bad for me. So she's like, I'll go with you. I was like, you're a bunch of jerks. We all don't want to go see it.
Sorry. I mean, I don't even know.
I even said to her, like, the one person I was relying on that would go see it with me was Brian, and he's like, I have to go see it with my wife instead. Sorry, bye. I was like, that son of a bitch.
Well, who knows? We haven't even started rewatching the old movies.
I know. You're running out of time. It's like next week.
I know. So
this is also like I'm gonna watch all of the Lord of the Rings movies by the end of the year. It's 6 months in and you haven't even touched them. So
I shall, because we working from home, because we're not gonna have AC at work. So that's my goal this summer, to watch the 3 Lord of the Ring movies.
We've heard this before.
I know, but I'm doing it.
I was thinking we need to come up with some kind of punishment where if at the end of the year you haven't seen them, you have to do something, like dress up as a hobbit and go to a con or something.
That's not a punishment.
Yes, it is.
Who's gonna make the costume?
I'm pretty sure we have someone that we know that can make a costume for you.
If you make a good costume, I'll wear it. But
you have to have not seen the movies by the end of the year.
I'll see the movies by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, I gotta talk. Like, I told Allison, I go, the movie comes out next week, so we have to get cracking here.
Yeah. This weekend of indie.
Yeah. So
Indie weekend.
listen, Mark, I'll keep you posted. But I mean, that's the plan. I promised her because she was like, "Oh, I want to go and see it." So I'm like, "All right."
Oh, wives. The randomest things they decide they want to do.
Yeah. So, all right. I'm sorry, Mark. But
Okay.
you go with Claire.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It was just kind of like I had it on my calendar that we have in the house, like our whiteboard calendar. It was there. And after Flash, it was all like, oh yeah, we're gonna see Flash. Then later this month, we're gonna go see Indiana Jones together. Then one by one, everyone was kind of like, John's like, yeah, I don't really want to see it. Yeah, I'm John. I only want to see certain movies now. I'm very particular.
I don't know, man. I feel like Indiana Jones 5 might not do that well.
I mean, it can't do any worse than what Flash did this past weekend.
Flash was still number one, but
it was like number one of like a really low weekend for films. It wasn't like it was like
yes,
number one against like real competition. It had to be Elemental, and it did. But
and I kind of feel like Indiana Jones is going to come out. It will be number one, but I feel like it's going to be like the Flash. I feel like it's not going to bring in a whole lot of money. I could be wrong. It could have a great first weekend, and then it kind of.
You get that nostalgia, the member berries. People always go, that always brings people out. But anyways, before all that happens, this weekend is
East of the River Comic Book and Collectibles Show.
That's why I went Sunday, to school for segues. Yeah.
10 a.m. to 3 p.m. 9 a.m. is early bird, which costs you $3 to get in. It's $1 to get in normal hours, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. American Legion Hall, 566 Enfield Street. It's going to be a great show. Come on down. This is kicking off the summer. We're going to have another show in Manchester at the end of July, which we'll talk more about that next week. But this is the big one. This is the big one in Enfield. We're not going to have another one until October. So come one, come all. It's a great afternoon. I think this weekend's going to be chance of rain, just like it was this past weekend. So I think it's perfect
Very
weather
hit or miss.
to do inside activities.
Hopefully it doesn't rain on Saturday and it rains on Sunday. That'd be fine with me.
Why? What's on Saturday?
I'll be in New York on Saturday for go-karts. So hopefully I can get that in. And then it could rain all at once on Sunday.
Well, the weather, I mean, it's early. It's only Tuesday.
I know. But people already start with the, it might rain.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a 50% chance of rain Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
There's also a 50% chance it's going to be sunny Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
You're absolutely right.
That's how you got to think.
Okay. Wow. All right. So I'm looking at the weather now. This could change. But as of now, Saturday is 60% chance of rain.
That means a 40% chance of it not raining.
60% chance of rain.
Yeah. I go with the 40%.
Yeah. I don't know.
We'll see. I'm not worried about it until
worried about it
Thursday.
Friday.
Yeah, Thursday.
But anyway, it's going to be a great show. I want to make this one just as like the last show we did in February was packed.
Yeah.
Let's pack it, baby. Come on down. Go to Dunkin'. Go to Jimmy.
Peking. Oh.
Huh? Go
Peking
to Jimmy's
Express.
Get your breakfast.
Oh. Yeah.
Go to Benson's Bagels, get your breakfast, and then walk.
Benson's Bagels, man.
Benson's Bagels. They're good.
The original ones in Springfield here.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. I haven't been there once where it hasn't been slammed, like busy.
Enfield's is generally only busy in the early morning, but they're 2 or 3.
I only usually go in the early morning, so
their bagels are good.
Yeah. Their croissants aren't bad either.
Yeah, their food's really good, and it's walking distance to this place. I mean, you park your car,
I might have to go over there.
Walk right over.
Yeah. I have to swing in there before I head over.
Yep. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, Marcus.
Yes.
How was your week?
It was good. It was good. We went, like I said, we saw The Flash on Thursday. Rest of the week, just watching Barry. I'm just finished season 3.
Oh.
So I'm caught up to this past season. I just watched the first 2 episodes last night of season 4. So, and they're quick. That's like the thing. It's like they're 8 episodes and they're 30 minutes each. It's fairly quick.
Yeah.
I through them pretty fast. The show's amazing. Besides that, Saturday was our niece Emmy's last dance recital. She is retiring from amateur dancing, as my sister-in-law Sarah stated on her
Amateur
Facebook page.
dancing?
Yes, her amateur career in dance she has decided to retire from.
So she's gonna go professional?
No, she's just gonna not do it anymore.
Oh, okay.
She's in high school, so she's like, I don't want to dance anymore. So, like I was in high school when I said to
quit dancing in high school too.
No, like I said to Emmy, I quit baseball in high school because I went out to try out for the senior league team in town down at Potter Hollow, and I was at the plate, and the kid that was pitching literally was gunning them past me at like 90 miles an hour. And I just like literally turned to the coach as he's standing like behind you, like because he stands behind the fence, the backstop and everything. I just turned to him and I go, yeah, I retire. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm not that good. I'm fine. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. And it's like walked off the field. And my mom was sitting in the car waiting for me. She's like, "What? How'd it go?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm done. It was fun while it lasted, but my baseball career is officially over." It's like she was like, "Okay." Then like a week later, because the guy that was there was Wade Wilby's dad was there umpiring the tryout, and he ended up reaching out to me afterwards, and he was like, your like thing was hilarious, and I want would you want to umpire? And I was like, okay. So now he like became an umpire for like 2 or 3 years. So
did you do the you're out?
Not that crazy, but I did.
Oh, I would have.
Yeah, I was behind the plate and stuff. I did. It was a pretty good time. So I told Debbie there's always possibilities of other things that could come your way. And she's gotten really into the drawing. She's like big into the drawing. So
they should come on down this Sunday. Meet Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan's not going to be there.
Matt Ryan's not going to be there.
Yes, I mention this every week when we do this promo that he's not going to be there. He's on vacation.
Oh, I thought you said he was going to be there.
No, he's on vacation. That's why I'm not rushing to get there, because I don't have to do anything.
Oh,
yeah, he's in the Outer Banks of North Carolina right now.
Wow.
Yeah, for 2 weeks.
Good for him.
He'll be back in time for Andrew's show.
Nice.
Which, if you watched last week's show, I have the flyer and is now at the end of the show. So, and it was also in our break that we had in the show. I think I put it in there. Yeah.
Our 2-parter.
Yeah.
I think it came up better. I didn't realize we talked to her for like an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, me neither. Until I got ready to edit it, and I was like, "Oh boy,
that's 2 hours."
I said I went down and because I was literally editing it. It took forever because I had to edit it and then like figure out how to do this. And I was texting Claire while she was at work, and I was like, no matter who it is, would you sit through 2 hours of a podcast? And she's like, no one would do that. I was like, exactly. So I just wanted to make sure I was making the right decision. So yeah,
well, I would have told you. I mean,
I know, but I didn't want to bug.
Sense. Yeah.
I was already texting her. I didn't want to bother you while you're at work. So I was like, I can bug you more than I could bug Brian. So
well, it made more sense to be video wise 2 parts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think going to YouTube makes more sense than Facebook.
Yeah. I don't know what Facebook's issue has become, but that's here nor there anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Saturday we did that, and then we came back here and we got Fletcher's takeout, the barbecue place, which is like my new favorite place in the world now. So I really think you and Allison, after you go see Indiana Jones, you should go to Fletcher's in Longmeadow. It's right there on Route 5.
Oh, why? You went there again?
No, we had takeout from there, and it was just as amazing as the first time when we actually went there. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No
it was
baked potato though.
still no baked potato. I don't know what the deal is. Why no potatoes? I don't understand.
Yeah, I gotta get them. We
yeah.
gotta get their food.
Yeah. And then on Saturday, hung out with the siblings for Father's Day. We went down to Vaughn's Public House, my dad's favorite spot before hockey games, and had
Nice.
lunch down there and just kind of, and here's the weirdest part of the whole thing. So my siblings are already there. Kylie, Mariah, Josh. They're sitting in the restaurant. And I come walking in, and I'm walking. I think you've been to Vaughn's. You kind of remember. It's like the bars on this side and the tables are on this side.
Yeah.
And I'm walking, and I look, and this guy talks, and I'm like, huh. So I kept walking a little bit, and he talked again, and I'm like, as I'm like walking towards him, I could hear his voice. And I said to myself, I know that guy. He's somebody. So as I'm walking past him, I look over. It's Zachary Quinto. Spock.
Really?
Yes, is at Vaughn's having lunch.
Does he live in Connecticut?
I don't know. I don't know why he was there. I think it was either he lives in the area somewhere, or he's doing a play in Hartford. That's my earlier thought. Like he's at like Real Artways or Hartford Stage. I didn't look into it after that because I said to Kylie, I'm like, she's sitting in front. So I stood in front of her and like he's behind me. I go, did you see Zachary Quinto is sitting right there? And she's like, no, what are you talking about? I'm like, that guy right there is Zachary Quinto. And she's like, no. And he's like getting up to leave. And she loves Zachary Quinto. She was like a huge fan of Spock and the Hero Show. I'm like, how would you not notice Zachary Quinto just sitting in the table? Like they were there for a little while. And she was like, he was not that far away. And she's like, I can't believe I didn't see Zachary Quinto. And I would have gone over and said something to him. I'm like, yeah, you missed your chance because he's gone now. So yeah.
Well, it's best not to bother people when they're eating. So.
No, well, he was done eating. So, you do it after they're done. As he's getting up, be like, Mr. Quinto, can I get a picture? So she was very annoyed that she missed her chance to meet Zachary Quinto.
Well, it's still pretty cool to say he was there.
Yeah, that's what I said. And the funny part was like the people at the restaurant had no idea he was there either.
Was he wearing a baseball hat?
He was wearing like I don't think it was a baseball hat. He was wearing like a skull, like one of those like knit hats.
Yeah.
But
so he was incognito.
Not really. I mean, you can't like when he talks, you know who he is. He's a very noticeable voice.
I understand.
Yeah.
But if you didn't know what he sounded like, he obviously got away with nobody recognizing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not like he's very popular right now. I mean, he's not.
No, but he's still a celebrity.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, he was in Heroes. He was also Spock. That's pretty big.
Yes. That was pretty big like 10 years ago, No,
but I mean, hey, whatever.
Well, that's
still pretty cool. Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Like a little, and I said it to Claire, like a little brush with fame. She's like, whatever. She's like, I have no idea who you're talking about.
You know what? I kind of go with what Claire said. Whatever.
I mean, it was kind of cool though. I was like, hey, there's Zachary Quinto just hanging out in Vaughn's. It's like you don't expect to see someone that's been in a Star Trek movie.
Yeah. I mean, I would have been more impressive as Chris Pine.
Well, I mean, if it was Chris Pine, I would have definitely went over and said something, and I would have asked him why he was in Wonder Woman 84.
It's a paycheck.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about being in that terrible movie?
I don't think you would ask him that.
No, I wouldn't. I would have asked him something about Dungeons and Dragons.
I'd be like, can you just take a photo with me? That's all I would want.
Yeah, like how was it being in? Have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons? Were you a fan of Dungeons and Dragons before you were in Dungeons and Dragons? I just went off on the Dungeons and Dragons rant.
I'm gonna look up Zachary Quinto.
He was in the Slap.
Quinto.
Remember that?
What?
He was in that show. It was like a special, like, mini series on ABC where he slapped his friend's kid or something. I don't know
Cool.
why it sticks in my head.
I never saw the slap. I remember it though. I remember it.
Yeah, right.
Zachary Quinto. Hartford.
This is a random weird thing that's going on right now.
Here we go.
He plays Robot in Invincible. That's what he's in. That I would know him from right now. He's in
Who?
Invincible.
Zachary Quinto?
He plays Robot.
Oh.
That's why his voice was like. That's why I noticed his voice so quickly. You're just an American Horror Story.
Well, I know
Big
that.
Mouth. Inside Job. He's going to be in a movie called Down Low. He Went That Way. And he's in Invincible, 17 episodes. Or 11 episodes as Robot, Rudy Connors. So that's pretty big. So he is popular still. So you're a jerk.
You're a jerk, you say.
Defacing the great name of Zachary Quinto.
I know he's a cool guy. I'm just saying, like, you know, his popularity peaked at, at Star Trek. And I'm sure he's still popular. He has his fans, but it's not like he's in stuff that people are like, oh my God. All right. We've just spent, I think, way too much time saying Zachary Quinto. Let's move on. Anything else, Mark, before I got some stuff to talk about. We got some news.
Not really. That's about it. I randomly ran into Zachary Quinto at Vaughn's Public House.
Okay, all right. We got it.
How was your week, Brian?
I
Did you run into any random pseudo celebrities?
I did not run into Zachary Quinto or any celebrities. I'm just jealous that you did, but I would have been more jealous if you actually said something to him, but clearly you did not.
No, because it was literally like I wasn't sure at first, so it didn't click in my head. So if I, what are you doing with your camera?
Well, because your video is above me, I was seeing if I could match my chin to your face.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
All right. For me, real quick, I mean, obviously we're going to talk about the Flash at the end of the show. We saw that together. I had a great time with the guys and you. We're almost done with season 2 of Baskets. Louis Anderson, phenomenal, shines in season 2. Such a wonderful show, unbelievable. Clone High, 2 more episodes left of season 2. Really enjoying it. The last couple episodes have been really good. And then we're in the middle of Angel, season 5. We're getting very close to the end of Angel. Going to see how that all pans out, but we're enjoying it. It took a few episodes to get into season 5 for some reason, but enjoying it nonetheless. Today, just announced, and I might go to this. Jimmy World has been announced for the Big E.
Oh, there you go.
At the pay, the
big stage. Yeah, the Xfinity stage. Yeah. Xfinity Arena, I think they call it.
So I might go to that. I'm excited for that one. That'd be pretty cool. The new Queens of the Stone Age album dropped this week as well. I gave it a whirl this week. Pretty good. Not as good as the new Foo Fighters, but good nonetheless. Definitely check it out if you're a Queens of the Stone Age fan. It's got that old. It's weird. The band's been around forever, so it's like I say that we're old, but it is. But check that out. We've been living with a new kitten. It's been fun. Like the cat is amazing. Little Scoops. He follows us everywhere. Meows everywhere. He's absolutely adorable. Sleeping. The two cats get along, which is sweet. It's hard because sometimes they fight. When I've introduced older cats, they always fight. They've been very good to each other, so it's been very nice. Look at that. Same place he was last time.
Same place she is every day.
Yeah, sorry.
It's a cat. You don't really like.
So
it's not to get offended.
I know.
I prefer to be there.
I got home one day.
Yes.
And we have the gate up. He jumps right over the gate. He's like, "Screw this, I'm done."
Yeah.
And
I'm done with my quarantine. I'm ready to be a part of the family.
Fidget, they smelled each other.
Yeah.
And they're all cool. Now, Fidget loves the kitten because he gets to eat all the kitten food.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
But they're playing together. The kitten will push boundaries. He will push back and get a little scared. But I've caught the little kitten chasing him, vice versa. So they're getting along. But that's been my week.
So here's the question I have for you.
Yeah.
And this stays on the podcast because Claire will never hear this or see it. I've told you about the stray cats that live in our neighborhood and hang out at our neighborhood.
Well, you told me it was a neighbor's cat.
Our neighbor's cat gets out of her house and hangs out in our back deck. But we also have a stray cat who had two kittens, and they're little, like probably almost a year now, or if not, probably 2 years. But anyways, they also hang out randomly in our back deck. Yeah. And we have the slider, and our cat has started to groan at them.
Growl?
Like a guttural groan. And I'm not sure if it's because she wants to play with them or if she wants to kill them. So
probably no. If she's growling,
not growling, but like a noise.
Well, is your cat fixed?
Yes. Yeah, she's spayed.
Okay. Well, cats are territorial.
Yeah.
And I don't know, what are you getting at? You want to let them in? Let the other cats in?
No, I'm wondering if, like you said, like you guys got a kitten recently. I'm wondering if she's lonely and she needs it and she wants a friend. But I don't want to like tell Claire that because I don't want to get another cat. Really?
I mean, listen,
it's too much to have another cat.
If you feel too much, I would stick with the one cat.
Well, I think it's still too much. Is I'm more the stress of if the cats didn't get along. It's not
always a possibility.
Your story is a common thing, is what I'm saying. I don't think that's a common thing. Cats don't usually buddy up like that. That's like a.
Well, here, I'll give you the short story. When we had Petunia, our first cat, we brought in Sir Pounce.
Yes.
Pounce got along with the dog and Petunia, no problem.
Yeah.
There was no issues really at all.
Yeah.
Then when we moved to the new house, we had Petunia and we had Pounce, and the dog had passed away. We brought in Buddy.
Yeah.
Now, Pounce was an older cat. Buddy was a much older cat.
Yeah.
That was very stressful. They did not get along in the beginning. A
Yeah.
lot of fighting. Eventually, it all worked out. It takes some
Yeah.
time. It was very stressful.
Yeah.
Then, when Pounce passed away, we had Buddy, and
Yeah.
we were like, we got Fidget. Now, Fidget
Yeah.
was 3 months old. They butted heads in the beginning. That it was a rough transition. Buddy liked being the solo cat.
Yeah.
That was just his personality. And he was a much older cat. And when he got sick, Fidget, there were times where he was picking on him because that's what animals do. They pick on the weak one or the sick. So that was very stressful.
Yeah.
Now, Fidget is 2 years old. He's a 2-year-old cat. We got a cat who was born in March.
Yeah.
Tiny little guy.
Yeah.
So tiny. And I was thinking, oh no, we're gonna go through this all again. And the tiny little guy jumped out. There was a moment where Fidget growled once.
Yeah.
They smelled each other.
He's like, who are you? Where'd you come from?
Yeah. And then because Fidget's always known there's always been another cat in there.
Yeah.
It was like a week without another cat.
Yeah.
But now they're doing good. I mean, of course they might push each other's buttons down the road and have a little tiff, but that's normal.
Well, I think it's also the difference of like I think the dynamic I always have noticed is whatever animal's the older one, whatever one's the younger one, that seems to work. But if it's like an older and an older or a younger and a younger, then they get like aggressive to each other. Like, I want to be that top dog or whatever.
Right. So like if Fidget was much older, and we got a kitten. The kitten doesn't want to do any of that stuff. Yeah. So, but I think because Fidget's young, the kitten's young, there's no alpha cat here going on. Yeah. I feel like, how old's your cat?
I think she'll be 3 in September.
I mean, if you got a little kitten, it might all work out fine. You know your cat better than I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like
I'm fine with one. I think that's fine.
Then just stick with one.
She'll be fine. She'll get over it.
Yeah.
She has plenty to deal with. As you can tell, she's really stressed out. So
yeah.
All she does is sleep. So I'm pretty sure she's totally fine.
I mean, you play with her. She's active, like, right? I mean,
I throw her treats. I throw things at her. So
I mean, you know what I'm saying? You play with her and have
throw treats at her.
That's not playing.
Yeah. I throw her one way and then I throw another way. Make her run back and forth across the house.
That's not how you play with a cat.
She doesn't like any other things. She doesn't like any of the like stringy things. She hates those. Like the little boppy stick things.
Yeah.
No interest whatsoever.
What about boxes? All cats love boxes.
She loves boxes. She has a box and she'll go in it for a second and then hop out of it. She likes sleeping. She likes her cat grass.
Yeah, that's good.
She's not a big play cat. She's just a kind of chill layout cat.
Well,
she'll randomly start running on her own.
Zoomies. You get the zoomies.
Yeah. Well, or she'll be upstairs and it sounds like there's like someone breaking into the house. We have no idea what she's doing upstairs.
Having a party.
Yeah. She's running around upstairs doing whatever she does.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
So yeah, she's fine.
Well, there you go.
I've tried, like, I literally think there's a box of toys that we've, like, the stuff you gave us when we first got her and stuff people have gotten us for and like a bunch of stuff. And there's literally a box of toys. And all she really cares about are springs and those little pieces of like rope and her cat posts. That's all she cares about. She doesn't do anything else.
Oh.
No matter how many toys I get her or we try to give her to play with, no interest.
You get the catnip toys?
Yeah, she has one avocado that I think you guys was in the stuff you guys gave us. And that's it. That's the only thing that she plays with. She has like 4 toys and that's it. She's very low maintenance. Very minimalist when it comes to toys.
We're minimalist. Well, there you go.
Which drives Claire insane because Claire wants to be able to like play with the strings and all the different things. And she's like, no.
Cats get older, they kind of don't do that as much when they're
Even
kids.
when she was a kitten, she didn't want to. She's never been a like a jump around play cat. Like I'll do like the laser once in a while.
Yeah.
Play with it for like she'll do with it for like a couple minutes and then she's like, I'm bored, and she'll just walk away. Like, okay. Good times.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Um,
There's your cat chat for the
cat chat. There you go, cat chat.
Yeah.
So Marcus, we got 3 bits of news.
Yes.
The Kraven the Hunter
trailer dropped. Yes. Aaron Johnson is Kraven.
I have not watched it.
Looks like a low rent Wolverine.
I'll have to check it out. I might just wait to see it on the big screen in front of a movie. I mean, I don't know. I'm not.
I don't know what movie you're going to see it in front of.
I bet you like a million movies, because it comes out what, October?
I don't know. Does it?
I don't know.
I didn't make it through the trailer. Literally, I was watching the trailer, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, why? Why do I care about it? He doesn't look like Kraven. It doesn't. It's like I don't buy Quicksilver as Kraven.
Yeah.
And like I said to you before the show, he doesn't have. That's weird to say, but he doesn't have the body type that I associate with Kraven. Like Kraven's like a bigger dude, like taller and more like broad-shouldered than he is. I don't know. He just doesn't scream Kraven to me when I look at him. Yeah, he just look like a low-rent Wolverine. Like someone decided to make a remake of the original Wolverine movie with like Liev Schreiber.
Speaking of Wolverine, Mark,
he's just it's weird.
We haven't talked about this on the podcast, but I'm surprised they moved the release date of Deadpool 3.
Yes.
From like September, October, whatever it was.
Yes.
Like May of 2024.
Yes.
But the writer strike's going on, and they stopped production. So I'm really shocked about that news.
Well, it's what they just moved it for now. I'm pretty sure they'll get moved again if the writer strike drags out longer.
Also, if the actors go on strike,
that could be another issue.
Yeah. Right now, everything got shifted, and I kind of feel like more things are going to get shifted. First, we had COVID. Now we have the writer strike.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how that all pans out. Season 5, Stranger Things, announced that Linda Hamilton will be joining the cast.
Yes.
Which that's very exciting. So we have to imagine we're going to get a lot of nods to the Terminator. This being the last season, and if this writer strike continues, all these kids are going to be like in their 20s.
Yeah, well, they already are. So now they'll just be later in their 20s.
No, they're not in their 20s. How old do you think? Here, don't look it up. I'll look it up. How old do you think
Millie Bobby Brown is? I'm going to say she's at least 20.
Millie Bobby Brown was born in 2004, which is so weird to say.
Yeah. So she's 19.
She's 19.
That's pretty close.
So
I'm saying Wolfgang is at least 21.
Finn Wolfgang was born in 2002.
So he's 21. Look at that.
Yeah. But he still looks young. He's got the look.
Yeah.
Dustin,
I'm going to say is a little younger. I'm saying he's like 18, 19.
2002.
Wow, 21 as well. There you go.
Lucas,
already in their 20s mostly.
Yeah, you know what? Lucas, 2001.
Yeah, so he's 22.
Holy shit. Okay.
And they're playing high school kids.
Well, that's normal. I mean,
well, Freaks and Geeks, they were like in high school. They were like in their 20s. Like I think Seth Rogen was the youngest one.
How old do you think Nancy is?
Oh, she's got to be late 20s.
She was born in 1995.
Wow.
How old is she then?
Oh, that's math. I'm gonna say 28.
Oh my god. Yeah, and she's a high schooler in the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Jonathan Byers,
From Longmeadow.
94.
Yeah.
94. So he's
Yeah.
1 year younger.
Older.
Older, sorry. Steve
29.
was born in 92.
So he's 30 something.
30. But he looks young.
Yeah.
And then Will was in 2004. So he goes with the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
But you know what? All right, color me wrong. They're
Yeah.
all approaching their 20s.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are approaching their 30s.
Yeah.
So they got
even back in the day, the 90210, they were all in their 20s. The youngest one was Tori Spelling. I think she was 18 at the time. She was actually in high school at the time.
Yeah. And then when
the rest of them were
they
already
were all in their 30s, still playing 20-year-old.
Yeah. So.
But anyway, Linda Hamilton, really cool news.
Yeah. Moving over from the Alan Tudyk show there.
Who?
The Alan Tudyk sci-fi show.
I didn't know there was an Alan Tudyk.
Yes, Resident Alien.
Oh, yeah, that show. Is it still on?
Yeah. It got picked up for another season, I believe. She was in that show, but I think her character just died, or I can't remember. It was a while back.
Way for ruining everybody.
Well, whatever. If you haven't seen it, you're not going to see it.
You're so bad at this.
My new philosophy. If you haven't seen it yet, it's not my problem. It's been out for a while now. If a show is over 2 years old, that's on you. You should have seen it by now.
So if I ruin Barry for you,
you wouldn't, because you haven't seen it all the way through yet.
Yeah, we got to watch the last season.
This is why I don't have this problem with you. You never see anything.
Well, we like to watch one show at a time. After Baskets, we'll watch Barry.
Yeah, because that's how the world works.
That's how my world works.
Okay.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow, Marcus, Secret Invasion starts.
Yes.
Now, here's a big question. Are we getting 2 episodes?
I don't know.
How long will these episodes be?
Good question. I'll see if I can find that out for you in just a quick second.
2 shakes of the lamb's tail.
Ooh, lamb's tail.
I'm hyped for it because we have Nick Fury coming back. This is also something that has bothered me about the last phase of the MCU, was they set up a lot of things and then we had no payoff. And one of the things, hold on, let me finish my thought. One of the things was back in Spider-Man, the second Spider-Man movie,
Far From Home. Right? Was that the second one?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
They set up that Nick Fury was in space and the Skrulls were a thing. And we had 2 main characters, come to find out we're Skrulls the entire movie.
Correct.
And then nothing. We've heard nothing from this plot line this whole time. And finally, years and years and years later, I'm hoping we're going to get some more into this. And it just bothered me that they waited this long to give us something.
Yeah. I mean, it's also, I think that this is still dealing with the issues of the shows just being pushed back and moved around from different reasonings, like you had COVID and all that stuff, and stuff just kept getting pushed back and back.
Well, I'm just saying in general.
So I think that's why this wasn't initially supposed to be this far away from the show, the movie that it was started in, kind of. I
mean, Miss Marvel and Spider-Man, Skrulls, then nothing. Just like that movie, the worst MCU movie of all time, the Incredibles,
Eternals.
the Eternals,
Incredibles.
whatever, that shitty movie.
Yeah.
With what's its face coming out of the ocean. Nobody's ever mentioned that either.
Yeah, we're getting one episode tomorrow.
One. Oh,
yep.
Is it 6 episodes in total?
6
right?
episodes. Yep. 6 parts. Yes.
Okay. I am pumped.
Yep. So tomorrow, and it ends at the end of July.
Okay. All right.
I've not seen anything about how long each episode is, though.
That's fine. But I do like how this is going to be more grounded. This is going to be more of like a the second Captain America movie, you know.
Yeah.
Like a little bit more grounded. A little bit more espionage and secrets and stuff like that. So I'm excited. I'm going to watch it first thing tomorrow morning. So it's nice that we took a nice long break from MCU shows. I think the last show was She-Hulk, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad they waited.
They're going to be hour-long episodes.
Nice. Perfect. That's
6 hour-long episodes.
That's what I like to hear.
So plenty of stuff to get out of it. But yeah, no, this is one of I enjoyed the graphic novel Secret Invasion. So I'm very interested to see how it's converted to a show, since you're not going to do the real Secret Invasion story, of course, because it'd be economically infeasible to have all the superheroes in it that are in Secret Invasion.
Well, I mean, who knows? We might get some cameos.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like you're not going to be like in the comic book, like it was all the big names.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Were Skrulls, and all the real heroes were on a different planet. It was like a whole thing. So
yeah, totally.
It's not going to be that in depth. I don't think it's going to be more of a behind the scenes espionageal crime thriller
espionageal
espionage.
Yeah, espionage. I don't think espionageal is a
I'm making it. I'm taking it back.
It's
espionageal.
Espionageal. It's a word you just get up. So next week we will be talking about that.
Yeah.
Episode 1.
Speaking of taking it back, I saw the randomly on Facebook, someone posted the clip from Clerks 2.
Yes.
The guy comes in and they show the
Lord
of the Rings. No, Lord of the Rings thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I was gonna mention earlier because you were talking about watching the films, and I'm like, well, there you go, Brian. You can just watch that clip and you're good to go.
I know. I mean, I was I mean, our friend Mike was like, I can't believe you never watched them. I'm like, well, I was a Star Wars guy growing up.
The funniest part of the whole conversation is when John said, "Have you read the book?" And I was like, "Yeah, right."
Well, if I've never seen the movies, why would I have read the book?
Why would you read the book? Period. It's like super long, and it's not anything that we would ever get into.
I mean, I read The Hobbit. I
love The Hobbit. Everyone read The Hobbit. Yeah, growing up, that was like. But I'm not going to read thousands of pages of Lord of the Rings.
No.
All the
fantasy was never my thing until maybe recently.
Yeah.
I've grown to like it. What so yeah, it was just kind of weird to ask that question. But anyway, we should jump into the Flash before this show.
Before we get into the whole in-depth discussion about the movie itself, we should definitely talk about how it won the weekend, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah, it's number 1.
Made $55.7 million on its opening weekend, which is more than 10 million less than the original Flash movie made.
There was an original Flash movie?
No, than its predecessors, like the other that Flash was in.
Oh, it made less money?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it was number 1 over the weekend. We'll see how this weekend, if word of mouth gets people to go out and see it, I mean, it has a lot of hurdles. I want to say one thing, and we'll just move on from it. I'm gonna say this one thing.
CG sucked.
No, but we'll talk about that. But I just want to say, we are reviewing the movie on the merits of the movie.
Yes, not on
we
the people in the movie.
Mark and myself, especially me, we have talked repeatedly about Ezra Miller, his behavior.
Yes.
Obviously, we don't condone that behavior. Obviously, we think it's horrible behavior.
Yes.
And he obviously should not be the Flash moving forward. That being
Correct.
said, I think everybody should have their own way. You don't want to see it. You do want to see it. I think that's up to you, the individual. I don't want people to
Which I think is
push others to believe how they should see fit.
No, exactly.
If you want to see it, go see it. If you don't, by all means, don't go see it. But
yeah, which I think was shown in the numbers. The determining factor was, would people go out to see this movie even with Michael Keaton in it?
Right.
Like, was that enough to drag people into the theater? It was enough to drag 55.7 million worth of people into the theater, right. But I don't think it was enough to make it a profitable film.
It's not profitable yet because it hasn't hit the budget. So
no.
Will week 2 have a turnaround? Will it continue to be number 1, or will it drop?
Yeah.
Will Indiana Jones 5 take over in 2 weeks? Which I'm pretty sure it will.
Oh, pretty sure it will be. Yeah. Because last week's number 1 was Transformers.
Right.
And it pulled in this past weekend, still pulled in 20.7 million. Which is, and this is crazy. I don't know if this is numbers that are usual, but I'm just not used to looking at the box office numbers every week. But the fact that it's a 66.1% drop from the last week.
What, Transformers?
Transformers.
That's normal drop.
Okay. Second place was Elemental, which debuted this past weekend as well.
Right.
With 29.6 million, which is really bad from what I understand, looking into the box office numbers as I did over the weekend. Elemental is not expected to do anything. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, both movies underperform.
Yeah. The other movie that came out, big release, was The Blackening, which made 6 million, which I didn't know was a find from Toronto Film Festival, and it was only made for about 5 million.
Wow.
So in its first week, it's already made a profit. It was only in 1,000 theaters, like just under 2,000 theaters.
Yeah.
Whereas The Flash was in 4,234 theaters. Sitting in third place, which was second place last week, which came out 3 weeks ago, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse still raked in $27.275 million.
Yeah.
All total for Spider-Man right now is 279,857,000.
Which is one of my favorite superhero movies of the year. So
yeah. The only other movie in the top 5 is Little Mermaid. It's its fourth week and it made 11 million in its fourth week. So
all right, let's jump into the review.
And Guardians is still in the top 10. It's in 7.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's a movie I want to see again. All right, let's jump into The Flash. That being said, that's the box office. We want the guys. I think I'm going to give my first initial. You give your first initial. Let's discuss, and then our review.
Well, before we get into the film itself, first impression of the experience was there wasn't many people in the theater, which has been not a common occurrence lately for films that we've gone to see.
Okay,
like we've gone to see Guardians, we've gone to see Spider-Man.
That was packed.
And they were both around the same time. So we can't blame it on an early showing because we went to an earlier showing.
We went to a 7:30 show.
Yeah. So we can't blame it on that because the other two were around the same time.
Yeah.
so can't use that as a contributing factor. It was in the same amount of theaters as the other ones were because I looked. I've been comparing them in my head, keeping notes of these things so I can talk about them. It just wasn't. There wasn't the buzz that the other two had in the theater of people. Like, the other two, you could like hear people talking about it and their excitement for going to see the films.
Yeah.
This one, nothing. I would say there probably was, I'd say all total about 40 people, 50 at the most, maybe, in the theater with us at the time. And we were the biggest group of people that were in there.
Yeah, I would say less than 50.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like maybe 20.
Yeah.
You
I
think?
mean,
I don't know.
I didn't really like count them out, but it wasn't that many.
No.
So it was like already I was like, oh, this is not going to be a good weekend for this movie.
Yeah.
Even though it's just a little theater in West Springfield, you can kind of get like the vibe about what the movie's going to be like, what the reception of the film's going to be by the crowd you see it with. And we usually have a decent crowds when we go. And this was not that. This was very sparse. Not much reaction from the people in the theater.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Guardians 3 was one of the best experiences. I loved our audience, was amazing.
Yeah.
This movie had one moment where everybody did lose their shit.
And they show it in the trailer. First off, that scene is in the trailer. Are you talking about you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
No.
Oh, that was the thing I was thinking of. Everybody
went crazy near the end when we saw a cameo.
Oh, yeah. It was kind of like everyone just kind of like laughed it off, kind of like, oh, that's funny. It wasn't like I was thinking like the big moment I thought was going to be that line.
Yeah.
And it didn't make any sense in where it was put.
Didn't bother me. It made more sense in the movie than it did in the trailer.
It didn't really though, because it's like it wasn't like he kind of just like they're like, oh, you want to go fight? And they're like, oh, let's go fight. And then he just like walks up and he's like, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. It's like no one asked you if you want to get nuts. No one was like, we should do something crazy. It was like nothing was. It was like it was just a line to do the line kind of thing.
Could be, yeah. All right, well, let's do initial reactions before we get to the discussion here. I'll go first.
Okay.
My initial reaction after the movie ended, I had a fun time. I was very entertained. I even felt that they did a great job with the heart of the story. I actually got teary.
Yeah.
I heard people maybe cry a little bit.
It was me. You can say it. It was okay.
Well, no, even my brother, he was like sniffing away.
Yeah.
Like, he was crying. I thought the acting was really well done. I thought the people that were in it, I had a blast.
Yeah.
And I had to switch my brain off when it came to the CG stuff because I had to say, well, when he's doing the time reversal thing, I was like, well, maybe I'm going to tell myself that's just the look. That's just the look we're going with. But, PlayStation 2 graphics. But then some of the fighting scenes near the end were a little wonky. But that's
some of the fighting scenes.
That's my biggest criticism for me personally.
The baby scene was wonky.
I had a blast. I loved it.
The CG of the baby scene was wonky.
The babies looked weird.
Yeah.
The dog looked weird.
Yeah. It was like he jumped into a cartoon.
Yeah, it felt like he jumped into the Matrix 2. Yeah. I think he made that comparison. It did remind me of Matrix 2.
Yeah. Which is crazy because the CGI has come a long way since then.
Yeah.
It shouldn't look that bad.
We haven't seen CG look this bad in years.
It's like they cheap out on the CGI company that they used. Like, was it like some college upstart or something?
It
was very strange. It really took you out of the movie.
Sometimes it did. You're right.
Like
I'm
the
not
dog part, especially. It was like, I don't understand that makes no sense. Why is there a therapy dog in the nursery?
well, it's in the building.
But that then who else was? I don't know. It was very. They kind of
I
threw you off. That
I don't
like
know.
made no
Anyway,
sense.
that's my initial reaction, Mark.
Yeah.
Let's go to yours.
Um. The CG really messed me up. Was not a fan. Some of the acting in certain parts was very hokey. The script writing was lacking in a lot of parts. Like I said, the whole why does Batman say a line from Beetlejuice?
That wasn't a line from Beetlejuice. He said
No,
it.
I know, but I'm saying, but like, you know what I mean? It's like one of those like weird things. Like, why is he saying a random line that means nothing in
That was
that sense
in
of the movie?
Batman '89.
Yes, yeah,
I actually have the card. I actually
yeah,
have the collector
yeah.
card. Batman. It's he doesn't even say it as Batman. He's actually
Bruce Wayne.
Wayne,
Yeah,
and he's in front of a fireplace in the
yeah,
Joker's room, and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he slams like
The
something into
poker,
the fire, or just
the
break
poker.
something. He's like, "You want to get nuts? Let's get
He
nuts."
throws his drink into the fire.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Now it's all coming back to me. But anyways, I was like, that there's no reason for that line. Doesn't make any sense here. Uh, the fact that a gray-haired man cuts his hair and it's black, like he went and just remended himself after he cut his hair.
His hair was still gray. His hair was completely gray.
You know,
It was gray.
whatever. He was just, and a man who's supposedly been retired from being Batman for so long, all of a sudden is able to fight like he's never stopped being Batman. And you're not, I can't hear you.
Sure, he trains.
There you go. Yeah, because he was making pasta in a worn down mansion. He definitely is training somewhere.
All right, all right.
But whatever.
You're overthinking it.
No, I'm not. I was like, this is what it doesn't make sense to me. But whatever. Yeah, it was just I got emotional at the end, of course, because it's the story and yeah, life, you know.
Yeah.
Eh, it was entertaining. I don't ever need to see it again. I'm not gonna be distraught if I never watch it again. Like if it's on like HBO or something and I'm bored and there's nothing else on, I'd watch it, but I'm not like, you know.
Yeah.
So it was a meh movie for me.
Okay. And that, well,
Like
it's
it literally like it was one of the first movies in a long time. I thought about this afterwards as I was driving home. I was like, I think it's the first movie in a long time that I actually like thought about checking my phone during the movie.
wasn't that bad, was it? You didn't really.
I was just like, I can check my phone. I can see what's going on. I'm not like enthralled in this. I think
Wow.
the last one was Eternals. Was the last time I was like, yeah, I can. What's going on in the rest of the world? It's like,
Wow. Well, this is interesting.
yeah.
I mean, for me, I'm actually, I will probably pick it up on physical because I want to see if there's deleted scenes. I want to see if there's
Well,
more of
the ending we
Supergirl.
had is the third ending that they did.
Huh?
Ending that we saw was the third version of the ending of the movie. They shot two other endings.
Well, I heard some cameo were taken out.
Initially it was going to be, well, we can go into this now. Spoilers. The original ending was Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot as Superman and Wonder Woman come up to him at the end, and it was going to further into the next Justice League movie.
Right.
That was before Warner Brothers was sold.
Yeah.
Then when Warner Brothers was sold, it was a different ending, which I think was Michael Keaton shows up as Bruce Wayne to further the Flash movie to another Flash movie, Flash 2. Then when they replaced the CEO to the one they have now, when he assigned the James Gunn to the DC universe, then they redid it again, and we got the ending that we got because he reached out to that person and asked him to come in to basically kill the story.
Well, this movie was done before James Gunn and Safran took over.
Yeah, they actually went back and reshot it in January of this year. They reshot the ending of the movie.
Yeah, I don't know if we have any confirmation of that though.
Yeah, so I read an article. There was a big article online talking about how that's the third iteration of the ending of the film.
Well, I'd like to see the DVD just to see all the bonus stuff.
Yeah, well, there'll be 3 different versions because this movie, as we talked about afterwards when we were all talking about the movie in the theater, this is another one of the DC films, a la Shazam, and the movie that is getting already terrible reviews, even though it hasn't been shown to anybody, Aquaman 2, that these movies go nowhere. There's no future for any of these films because they're scrubbing the universe completely and starting from scratch. So
yeah,
these movies have no future into their stories. So their story ends in these films.
It doesn't that doesn't bother me. If it's
no,
good,
I know, but I'm just saying it's like, so
it,
that's like the difference. Like these initially, like the Flash initially was meant to further the DCU to lead to like their big bad for their next Justice League movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hence why Affleck was in it and Gal Gadot was in it earlier in the film.
It was nice to see them. Probably the last time we'll see them as those characters.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And yeah, it's I mean, you know what bothered me the most though? The CG. We're talking the CG. I'm watching Baskets, which is an FX show, and Zach Galifianakis plays twins, Dale and Chip.
Yeah.
And they do it the old-fashioned way. You film one scene, you film the other scene,
you
split it, you put it together, and it looks seamless. There are scenes in The Flash where the two Barrys are walking down a street, and you could see the real actor, Ezra Miller, and then you could see where they took another actor and put Ezra Miller's face on it. And it's like almost floating.
Yeah, the very first one when they has them pinned against the house, that was the worst one. Because they were literally like right face to face, and you could definitely see like, I don't want to say like the outline, but like you can see like very vaguely see the outline where they like replaced Ezra Miller's face onto the body double that they used for the other Barry. And you can see it like bounce back and forth between different scenes.
Yeah, when they're walking down the street together. Yeah. When they're walking and like the left Barry, you can see his face is just not right. And then the left, the Barry the Barry on the right looks fine. The Barry on the left looks wonky.
Yeah, because he's just the actor, and then it's the one they did with the superimposed thing.
Yeah, and it's just like, man.
A lot of that. There's a lot of bad, like unfinished, unrendered CG.
Yeah.
It seemed like.
It's just
like it was really noticeable for me at the very first time when they save Supergirl and she's throwing the Russians all over the place and she's flying by the screen.
Yeah.
That's really cartoony.
Yeah.
Really bad. I mean, and the other part where, I mean, of course it's cartoony because they're not there at all, was at the end when they started showing the different heroes.
Yeah.
The different universes.
Yeah.
That was really bad. That was very noticeable. It was like painful. Like that was like first off cheesy, like a cheesy grab for me. I thought it was like cheesy. I'm like, why are we doing this?
Showing I got chills seeing Christopher Reeves and Supergirl again.
It was just kind of I was like, oh god, why?
But I agree with you. I will meet you halfway with this criticism. Spoilers, this is a big one.
Yeah.
when we get Nicolas Cage as Superman, which he was supposed to be Superman in the Tim Burton universe,
Yes.
we get Nicolas Cage fighting a spider, which
Yeah.
Kevin Smith tells this story years ago when he used to do Kevin's evenings with Kevin Smith. He tells
Yeah.
a story about this.
He wrote one of the scripts, one of the versions of the scripts for that movie.
Yeah, so
And it's in the
I was
documentary
like,
that they put out.
why didn't we get the real Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
A CG. We got a CG version of
Deep faked versions.
that made no sense to me. That they could have had Nicolas Cage,
Or even not even that. You already have DC owns the rights to the film that they shot parts of for
they never shot
they did like screen tests with him in the suit and stuff.
Yeah, but they're old. They wouldn't match up.
Yeah, but
really
I mean, compared to the rest of the CG, it would have looked just like the rest of it. You could have just used that footage.
I'm just saying they could have had Nicolas Cage when he's filming any of his movies. They could have filmed that scene off in the corner, and nobody would have known. And they could have mailed. I mean, that's what they did in tons of other movies. I'm just saying it was weird that we got a CG Nicolas Cage and not the real Nicolas Cage. That makes no sense.
You know what I'm still jilted by it. Not that I care about it that much, but I was kind of like, well, how come those guys got in? Like, how come Nick Cage warrants getting into it, but not like, what about Brendan Routh? He was Superman. What did he ever do to anybody? Why can't he be in that movie? Why couldn't he be one of the universes?
He was technically the Christopher Reeve Superman.
Yeah. But still,
world. Like, so, I don't know.
What about Tom Welling? He played Superman in Smallville.
I don't know.
What about what's his face who was in Lois and Clark?
Who? Ken Marino? No, not Ken Marino.
No, what's Ken Marino?
I don't know. What's his name?
What's his face there?
Mario Lopez?
No. The guy who was in the TV show on ABC.
Oh,
that bothers me.
Arnold
I know his name. I know his name, and it's making me aggravated.
Isn't it Mario Lopez?
It's not Mario Lopez.
Zachary Quinto.
Zachary Quinto.
Zachary Quinto, who played Superman on the old 80s TV.
Dean Cain.
Dean Cain.
Dean Cain.
Dean Cain.
Why wasn't Dean Cain in that?
What's up with Dean Cain?
Like you're gonna throw like a random Adam West scene in it.
Well, Adam West is classic. He's well known over Dean Cain.
I mean, if you're gonna do that and you're doing all these different CG things, why not CG Val Kilmer in?
I don't know. We got the George Clooney.
We got George Clooney for some reason.
That was cool. I like that. And that's the biggest pop of the audience lost their shit.
It's literally like if you read the article I read, James Gunn says like it was kind of like just a joke, just to like how many Batmen can I fit in this movie?
Yeah, but James Gunn didn't write the movie, so
no, but he did the ending. That ending was a James Gunn add-on. Once they decided they weren't going to continue the universe.
Where does it say that? Ending. This movie was written before he even came into.
I know, but they did this after the fact. I'm telling you.
All right. Well, I have to read this article.
I'll find it.
All right, you find it. So anyway, I would say.
What did you think of the Zod stuff?
You know, that was wonky too. The Zod stuff.
It seemed like it was shoehorned in, like it didn't make sense.
No, it made total sense to me because they're wrapping it, and it felt like we went full circle. Your Zod was the big bad that gave us Superman, but in this world, there was
he killed Superman before he was even Superman.
He gave us Supergirl, and honestly, man, she was a standout. I hope it would be kind of cool if they let her continue as Supergirl. I mean, I know Supergirl will be a new character going forward, but I thought she killed it. I almost wanted more of her character in this movie. I kind of felt like she was in it briefly. So
yeah, it was just very, I don't know. I just don't think like Like I feel like they made him seem more or stronger than he was in the original ones, which I guess it makes sense since Superman isn't Superman and Supergirl's not Superman kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, Zod. Well, also they explained it. That was a fixed point. So they were going to die no matter what.
Yeah, yeah,
Man and
yeah,
Supergirl on that timeline
yeah,
was a fixed point.
yeah,
They were going to die. That's why the other Barry could not fix it, and he
yeah,
went crazy. I mean, this is Flashpoint. This is the comic. This is what they did. It's very similar to that.
yeah.
All right, Mark. I'll let you go first. Final verdicts. Your review. I'm taking my notes. I'm going to write it down. For
Uh,
unless you want
going
me to.
in the see, it's so weird because it's like the DC scale is different than everything else because DC movies are not that great.
You can do
So
whatever you
sliding
want.
scale is very awkward. On the DC scale, I'll give it an 8. On the comparatively to other movies we've seen this year scale, it's a 7.
I gotta write this down. You're giving me 2 scores.
Yeah. Well, comparatively to other DC movies, like Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, it's an 8.
So
Comparatively as a whole to other films that we've seen recently, like Guardians, Spider-Man, it's a 7. The CG
okay.
was bad. Like 20-year-old looking CG, bad. It was like if you watch Jurassic Park, the original Jurassic Park now,
Jurassic Park still looks better.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it just was very hokey looking.
Oh, all right. So then I put Mark DC scale 8 out of 10 and a movie scale 7 of 10. So then I guess I'm doing the same. Um, it's weird because I wrote down I gave the movie an 8 out of 10
Yeah,
just in general because I enjoyed it. I would give it a 9 out of 10 if the CG was better.
yeah,
I really enjoyed it. But if I did a DC scale out of the DCU, I mean, there's only a handful of DCU movies proper that I think are better. I would like, yeah, okay. So I would say the Suicide Squad was leaps and bounds better. Um, um, DC scale, I give it. I would stick with an 8 out of 10. And
mm,
then out of the movies of the whole, I mean, just as a movie, I would still give it an 8 out of 10. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. The CG was a sticking point for me. Other than that, I had a blast. So it's an 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10 for me.
yeah,
My final verdict, I had a blast. It's a movie I want to probably own. I want to check out the deleted scenes. There's more stuff I want to see. I enjoy the Michael Keaton stuff. I enjoy Supergirl stuff. I had a fun time. And I enjoyed the story. I thought the story in the heart was the best part. I just that CG, it really was not good.
yeah,
So yeah. So 8 out of 10 for me, and you give it a 7 out of 10.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, this movie had a lot of hurdles.
yeah.
we'll see what happens next week. It's got no competition this coming weekend.
Yeah.
I don't think anything big's coming out.
No, Asteroid City, I think, is the only thing coming out this weekend.
Yeah, which I do want to see.
I want to see that too. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't think it's gonna do flat.
No.
Asteroid
Wes
City
Anderson
came out. Yeah, it came out this past weekend, but it was like
7 theaters.
Yeah. So I don't know. Will it go up, or will it just kind of Shazam to its way out of the theater? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because
So
Shazam 2 bombed too.
here's an article from Gizmodo.
Okay. Give us.
So according to the Hollywood Reporter, this ending wasn't the only version shot, the one that we saw.
Okay.
In fact, it's the third version of the movie's conclusion, and that only took shape back in January.
Okay.
After a pair of screenings, the decision was made to deliver a fake out after Barry thought he'd fixed everything, having already gotten Keaton back for the main Batman. The filmmakers basically went, how many Batman can we get? Thus, James Gunn and Peter Safran decided to try and get Clooney on board after watching a mostly finished cut of The Flash, which I'm surprised he didn't say anything about the CG. The actor agreed, and the camera was quickly shot in a half day on the Warner lot. WB managed to keep it a secret by not showing the end of the film at CinemaCon back in April when they showed the whole film at the CinemaCon.
I heard, yeah, they left.
Yeah, they cut that part of the movie out. The first people to see it were the press who attended screenings in early June, and then the folks at the premiere when it was released at the premiere.
Nice.
As for the two other endings, they basically went something like this. In its original version, Barry would have met with Keaton's Batman and Supergirl at the courthouse, indicating that he hadn't reset the timeline quite like he thought he had. This would have reversed their deaths from earlier in the film, and it was an ending that had been screen tested several times. In the second version, Supergirl would have been joined by Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot, who also appeared in the movie earlier, while Keaton remained as Batman.
Wow.
In Supergirl's case, this would have left open the door for Kali to return, since her solo film had already been junked. Since producers didn't want audiences' last memory of the character to be her getting killed by General Zod. Both those endings, though, were prior to Gunn and Safran getting brought on to run DC Studios. When those two took over, the other plans were made for DC movies, as in totally scrapping everything. That resulted in the ending that's currently playing in theaters. As one insider reported to THR, it's rare that you have a movie in post-production that faces three separate regimes with three separate agendas. None of them were scrapped because of ill will, just different visions.
Yeah.
There
you go. And I think it's good now you have two people running the DC that have one vision, because I think studio meddling,
yes,
Zack Snyder had to deal with, other filmmakers in the DC universe have had to deal with. So I think it's good when you have someone captain of the ship who really loves comic book movies and loves these characters. So I think they're in better hands than they've ever been in. And I'm not saying Zack Snyder hated. Zack Snyder has a very good passion for what he does.
He had stuff go on that caused him to leave the film he was working on. So there was other stuff. He had personal stuff that happened. So, and
I'll die in the hill, but I thought his Watchmen movie was fantastic.
Oh, it was. It was a great film.
I thought he did. I mean, I think that movie could have been. It came out at a time where we didn't have streaming services, but that movie would have been best as a miniseries. It was so long. And then you had the Snyder cut of The Watchmen, which was over 3 hours long. I thought he did a fabulous job with that movie. So
I mean, he could learn to make shorter movies, but besides that,
Yeah. I mean, what can you do? What can you do? His version of Justice League was really good. I mean, compared to the original.
It was, it had some stuff that was kind of, but
anyway, that's our review for The Flash.
We'll
Next week, Secret Invasion episode 1.
Yes.
And Mark, I'm going to compile. We're going to do our half of the year, the first half of the year.
Halfway through.
I'm going to compile all the stuff we reviewed, and we'll kind of we'll have fun with that. I'll come up with some.
Sounds good.
Will we be in the studio next week? I don't know.
Depends upon how fast Facilities finishes my parking lot.
Oh yeah, the parking lot. Never mind. We'll be on Zoom.
Yeah.
We'll be on Zoom for at least one more week.
Hopefully, it's supposed to be done by the end of this week, so we'll see. It could be to be determined.
All right.
Stay tuned and find out next week. Will Mark and Bryon be in the studio, or will they be at home?
I don't know.
Stay tuned. Same podcast time, same podcast channel. We'll see you all this weekend at East River Comics and Collectibles show at the American Legion in Enfield. Bryon will be the one outside spinning the sign, pointing you to where to go.
Yes, I got my spinning skills ready.
Yep, he's been practicing. And as always, be safe, be well, be kind.
Rewind.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.